Welcome to the Virtual Power Teams podcast, and today we have a super exciting guest, Dr. Sohrab Khatouni. He's an AI engineer with a decade of experience in the medical field and healthcare industry, and he's also a serial entrepreneur, and his current startup is kind of revolutionizing, without overstating, the healthcare. So welcome, Sohrab, and tell us with your own words who you are and what you do.
Thank you for having me, Peter. Well, basically, I am mostly an engineer and a researcher. I worked for several universities. Have done research in several fields, mostly in the field of medical, like the intersection between medical applications and engineering, also AI engineering. And this is what I do for a long time now. And based on that, as you just said, like the last company that we founded is also doing AI application, AI software for medical applications. And this is what I'm currently all in and I'm doing.
Excellent, excellent. You're very brief and concise. I've seen today that you won another award among many as a startup in the AI landscape and ecosystem
Yes.
in Hamburg, in Germany. Maybe tell us about the last award and why you do what you do, why you are in this field.
Mhm. The last award was the Innovation Award from AI Hamburg and the AI Group. And we won it because of our solution, which is basically um, a practice management system, but superpowered with AI. You can just imagine how Meta and other companies use every single swipe you do and everything, a single metric they can measure, they can get their hands on, they measure, and then they kind of get information out of it, and therefore can predict anything like the consumer behavior and so on and so forth. We do that with medical records. We do that with patients. We do that with people who are not getting a diagnosis. So this is basically the same principle applied to healthcare. And this is, of course, revolutionizing the way doctors treat their patients, because with this system, it is as if you have a super doctor actually being your wingman, being
Mm.
always right next to you and helping you doing what you do. And this is something that a lot of people like, and therefore we are getting a lot of recognition for that.
Yes, fantastic. Before we go into details how your system works, and IBM with their Dr. Watson, they're trying to
Mm.
achieve similar mission for years. Just tell me why you choose that. What gives you, passion? I know it's a lot of hard work to
Mm.
win these awards and to make a difference in this field. Why you chose this mission?
Well, actually, that's very easy. The question, because in my family for myself, I am affected of this problem, and also my co-founder is affected of this problem as well. Doctors do not have enough time. So maybe just briefly on my background, I did a ton of research in the field of medical AI. However, I my one of my backgrounds is engineering, mechatronics, and basically microsystems in medical applications. That's where I did my PhD. But I also studied medicine, so I went to med school fully, and therefore I've seen both sides, and I know what is actually possible, what you can do. But I also see how doctors have to do their practice. In Germany, for example, physicians have only 7 minutes for each patient, which is not a long time. And when you have somebody who's really ill or who has more than a common cold, you would need more time. You would need to assess the family history, maybe. You would need to assess a file, patient records, things like that. But it is basically not possible to do that in that brief time. And that's why there is a lot of misdiagnosis. There are more than 7 million people only in the OECD countries who die or are severely impaired each year because of misdiagnosis or mistreatment, therefore. And this is a huge problem. And I've seen it in the clinics I used to work. I've seen it in my family. It happened to me. It happened to, I'll give you an example. My co-founder, for example, I'm working with him for roughly 7 years now. And he was diagnosed with a hypertrophic um, uh, cardiomyopathy. And he was diagnosed with a form where the doctor said, hey, you need to stop working out immediately. And he was doing sports. And you will have a life expectancy of roughly 10 years. That's it.
Yep.
And this was how many years ago? This was now 12 years ago. This was a misdiagnosis. He continued. So first of all, he was devastated for a long time and didn't know what to do. But then he arranged with this unfortunate diagnosis, and he was thinking that he is not having a lot of time to live. He went on and did sports. He even was doing professional bodybuilding because he kind of wanted to do it always. And then later on, another doctor gave him then the right diagnosis, also which includes another treatment. Therefore, he was not treated the way he was supposed to be treated for a long time. And this goes on and on and on. So all of us will be affected from this sooner or later, either directly or indirectly. So this problem is really huge. And we have more and more in Germany, especially more and more elderly people. The demographics change. So we have not enough. I believe the reproduction rate is 1.2 or something in that range. So this is the problem that is already very, very severe, and that will get more and more severe as time goes by. And now we have the technology to solve it, and that's why we are pursuing this mission.
Yes, it is amazing. Tell us a little bit how your system works. I'm telling the story of Murai, which is quite an old system for scanning mammograms for breast cancer. And even 10 years ago, it's been doing 75% accuracy 5 years ahead. Much, much better. The previous, based on doctor judgment and some historical, was like 25%. 1 year ahead. So huge progress. Tell us about your system without being too technical. How does it work?
Sure.
Yeah. How does it help?
So when we talk about AI, the AI became prominent with ChatGPT mostly, like in the broad with everybody, not just in this with scientists and universities, but for the for the people, regular users. And it became popular with GPT, right? So with ChatGPT, actually. Why did it become popular? Because there was the first time in the history, there was a very easily usable interface between humans and an AI algorithm, which is a pre-trained large language model. And that is when people really realize the power of AI. However, if you work in research, you would have known for a couple of years that there are many, many different other algorithms that, like besides LLMs, that are also very powerful. There are, for example, decision trees. There are, for example, KNN networks, and so on and so forth. So different models that can do different things well. For example, the mammography that you just mentioned, they are not using large language models. They use deep neural networks, actually, or something similar to that, maybe recurring networks. I'm not sure about their technology, but it's different than the large language models. They're not transformers that they use.
Yes.
Because those models are better for pattern recognition in images.
Yes.
So what we do actually is we have a hybrid model of every algorithm on a specific use case that is suited best for that specific use case. And they work with each other. So we have the platform where they can interconnect, and we use for, let me give you an example. For example, when you want to have a the probability of somebody having an illness, we use a hybrid Bayesian net. So Bayesian nets are, again, similar to decision trees. They are probabilistic, and that is, for example, coupled with an LLM as an interface for humans. And it's also coupled with decision trees to see if the input is correct. So we have several stacked AIs. So it can be called agentic as well, because they can also interact with each other. That's how our system works. And that's what it makes what it makes so powerful.
Maybe to be more specific, the audience is mainly managers and senior managers in various industries, but how does it help the doctors and how does it help the patients? So let's look for like consumer and user point of view.
Sure. For the doctors, you can imagine the brief time that they have is almost never enough. So where we're helping is, of course, we take away the administrative burden. That's another thing that we're doing also with AI.
By how? By voice interface, or how do you?
For example, yes.
So it gets built in the right formats, goes to the system just by.
Yes.
Okay.
So there are a couple of different island solutions that have these features. However, there is no ERP for a clinic that really has all of them integrated. So the administrative burden, for example, you come and visit us in our clinic. We have a clinic here as well. This is also where the system was born. And everything is being recorded, and everything is being transcribed, and everything is being categorized and put in the electronic health record in the place where it belongs. When you need prescriptions, they're auto-generated by just a voice interface. And it's really seamless. So you do not have to say, hey, I don't know, hey, Alexa, or something like that. It's listening when you turn it on, and it recognizes the speaker, and you can do everything in that sense. So that's one thing. But the main thing, and we have a lot of features like that. For example, doctor letter generation is also automatized by AI. And for example, making appointments and the invoicing, everything is automated, actually. So it's roughly 25%, 30% administrative burden that we take away. Therefore, the doctor has more time. But let's imagine the doctor would not have more time. Our AI scans the electronic health record all the time. And whenever new information comes in, it refreshes a probabilistic, basically, stack of illnesses that could be present. And this probabilistic stack refreshes all the time. So the doctor, even if he does not know about that illness, let's say, for example, ALS. It's not an illness that a common physician sees all the time. Well, there are some who recognize it right away. There are some who do not recognize it right away. The system would alarm the doctor, because when the symptoms are assessed, the symptoms are also assessed AI-based by the patient himself or herself. And the system in the background, our AI engine, is evaluating all the information and giving the doctor hints. Hey, check for this marker because this patient may have whatever. And also at the same time, it proposes what the next treatment steps are. So basically, what Watson is doing also from IBM, but fully integrated in a system that is used in the doctor's office anyways. So the system is already getting all the information just by the doctor being there and using it. The doctor does not need anything else. So it can just use the system for it. It's called Clinic OS, by the way. So the doctor can just use Clinic OS
Mm-hmm.
and do everything that he has to do. The administration is done by that as well, appointments and everything. And in the background, we have the AI, which is a sentry kind of,
Mm-hmm.
and proposes the next steps, proposes illnesses that could be present with the right probabilities, and also says, well, to um, to make sure that you have this illness or not, please do this and that test. And these also can be exotic tests.
Mm-hmm.
And it is based on guidelines and use cases, no, case studies, I'm sorry, and also literature. So it's always up to date
Yeah.
and is not is not outdated. And that's what the doctor has as a benefit. As a patient, you actually can be assured. Let's imagine Clinic OS is used all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
You do not have to ever look for a good doctor anymore
Mm-hmm.
because you just go to any doctor. This
Mm-hmm.
doctor can be experienced, can be overworked, can be whatever. Doesn't matter because the anamnesis is done via AI. So you will have a full anamnesis. Anamnesis is where you assess the problems of the patient. And that is evaluated via AI. So the doctor is still like, we do not want to replace doctors. I want to be very clear about that. Um, we do not want to do that, but they will have the right tools to serve you as a patient and really be a doctor and do what a doctor does, and not administrative stuff or having to know every single symptom by heart. No doctor can do that. So as a patient, you would have uh, a guarantee that you will get the best treatment possible with the best knowledge of the world. Doesn't matter if you go to the doctor here in Germany, you go to the doctor somewhere in the US, in
Mm-hmm.
England, in Africa, doesn't matter.
Yes. Yes, that's great. Um, we know that these systems, AI, are as good as the trait as data they are trained on. And you've
Correct.
mentioned, large language models, which, with ChatGPT become very popular, but all the other algorithms for predictive analytics, like large language models, we know they could hallucinate.
Mhm.
They're getting better, but still they are not famous for their precision rather than generating and creating. And there are other algorithms that you are using in your hybrid model, which could be quite precise and used in
Exactly.
manufacturing, healthcare, and so on. But question, how did you overcome the patient data hurdle? How did you get enough data so the system is really kind of smart and trade on sufficient set of data? For Murai, that was one of the first challenges they had to get
Mm.
optimized data and so on. How did you solve it
Yes.
in your case?
Well, we have an I don't want to call it unfair advantage, but for us, we do not need. First of all, we do not need large data sets
Mhm.
because our main reasoning engines are probabilistic, and they're also used on enforced learning and things of that sort. However, we do not need like I also trained models that were like deep networks where I needed like, I don't know, 150,000 samples that are really well labeled to get a reasonably good outcome. However, this system is not like that. The reasoning part of it,
Mhm.
different other parts may need a lot of data or need a lot of data, for example, medical interactions and so on and so forth. But there are databases for that.
Mhm.
So what we do is we curate data from databases. That's one thing. And for the reasoning, we actually use literature,
Mhm.
case studies, and guidelines, for example, international ones. And there are basically you take the information out of them and put them in a probabilistic net, and then you have it. So it's a ton of work. Don't want to I don't
Yeah.
want to say that it was easy or is easy. However, we do not have the problem with the labeled data and that we need patient data. We do not even use the patient data to train.
Mhm.
What the only thing we do is when a doctor is diagnosing something else that our system does not see, we do something like it is similar to federated learning.
Mhm.
So we see what's the mismatch between the weights that we have, the weights, it's not weights in our case, but let's say weights. for the sake of simplicity. And then we retrain the model. And also only with doctors where we are sure that they have a high healing rate, or a high, like doing right diagnosis with a high rate.
Mhm, mhm. Excellent. Excellent. Is there a way, out of curiosity, to say what's the precision of your model, to kind of objectively measure the precision? I wonder, for example, you've mentioned 7 million patients with wrong
Mm,
diagnosis, and last
yes.
time we've met on a conference, you mentioned a percentage, which I heard referred in other sources about wrong diagnosis. But can you tell the percentage that your AI system, percentage of right diagnosis, is this
Yes.
available and possible?
Sure. We we always, like, the system has a confidence level.
Mhm,
Based on that confidence level, the precision is actually, yeah, it's a result of that confidence level. And we always communicate that confidence level. Means when it says that it has a 100% probability that there is one illness, it is 100%.
mhm,
And when it doesn't know, or there's missing information, it can work with missing information as well.
mhm,
So whenever new information comes in, everything is refreshed and the confidence levels change.
mhm.
Therefore, let me give you an example.
That would be great.
For example, there are different kinds of liver diseases
Mhm,
that make different symptoms. And let's say a patient has like 5 of 10 symptoms.
mhm,
Then the next step would be, please make a biopsy.
mhm,
And then as soon as the information of the biopsy comes in, it's 100%, because it's very clear when you
mhm,
have symptoms and lab analytes, and on top of that a biopsy, and we also have the information of the biopsy, and that's the point, we have all the information.
mhm,
Then you can pretty much very certain say that it is this um, liver disease. Or if it's negative, then the next most probable
mhm.
diagnosis can be assessed. So
That's
that's the way it works.
okay. So it's never say like a doctor, this is it, 100%, but it gives you a list prioritized based on
Yes.
confidence level. Excellent. Just last question, and we'll go to more general topics about AI in healthcare and its impact on leadership. What happens with IBM Watson? I heard IBM sold Watson a few years back. Why is that? And is there a leading platform worldwide that really has a huge amount of data, or what is the current state of affairs?
To be honest, I'm not sure. I don't know, because as far as I'm concerned, it's a very powerful model, and also a very powerful concept to integrate it in different in different places, to give people access to that knowledge. However, I'm not really informed about that. I do not know what their plans were, or what is up to that.
I will have to research, but I heard it's still available as a brand, but sold and operated by somebody else. And you're saying
Yes,
in the scene, in the ecosystem, it's still recognized as the major player.
yes,
Mhm,
it is. It, but one thing that's important: IBM is not a um, medical research company,
mhm,
and this is why it is so hard. There are so many studies, there are so many things that you can put into such a system. And if you do not have the persons or the personnel, I believe IBM had that personnel. However, if it's not really like solely about this, um, it's very hard to come up with a good system that is also good, perceived well by the customers, because our customers are doctors,
mhm,
and therefore we have doctors in our team as well. And we for Watson, I believe the barrier, the hurdle to use it was also for me a little bit high.
mhm.
So if you have to change systems, if you have to copy paste information, if you have to do all of that, it can become pretty tedious. However, again, I'm not really informed well about Watson, so
Okay. It's not the purpose. Anyway, let's look a bit broadly. How do you see AI is revolutionizing healthcare? Now broadly, not just diagnosing, but whatever you say, personalized medicine, treatment, and so on. How AI can help us to live healthier and longer lives?
So I really deeply believe in empowering people
Hmm.
with knowledge, with technology, with everything. I do not believe in you need to have a lawyer, you need to have a doctor, you need to have, well, they're good for extreme cases. However, I believe that a human being should be informed well already. Then at the same time, it's pretty much impossible to know everything about everything. It's like impossible. Um, and this is where technology comes in. This is where computers came in and made people like you and I creators or mobile phones. Um, and this is also where I see AI, and this is also where I see AI in healthcare. It's an enabler. It is something that is it is like the medical knowledge is basically inaccessible for most people because most people cannot read studies or papers. It's not written in plain English.
Hmm.
There are terms that you have to know to really understand what's in there. Having AI in between is making this knowledge available and accessible to the um, broad society. And this again, I believe, is very powerful. And I believe that this can and will make a huge change on how we live, on um, how we work, how
Hmm.
we do all of that,
Yes.
how we consume what we do,
Hmm.
and in that sense it is very very powerful. It is still like if you remember Google when
Hmm.
people started typing their and it's still like that when people try to assess their symptoms in Google, like most of the time there is like cancer.
Hmm.
Whatever you have, it's basically somehow related to cancer. This was a problem because we call it like Dr. Google.
Hmm.
um, People were trying to get informed about their symptoms or about their regular health. Maybe it's not even like symptoms, but how you can live longer, how you can live a more healthy life.
Hmm.
But the information was again not digested. See, you could find the information. However, the information is then in the original form, which for most people is not accessible. With AI, we have a paradigm shift in that. You can tell GPT-5 right now um, to just give you a precise summary of something in whatever language you want. In a simple language, you can say, hey, explain it to me. And this system is doing that. So when, for in 10 years from now, if people will use AI the way they use it right now, and the adoption rate increases or is as high as it is right now, I believe ChatGPT had the highest adoption rate a software had ever,
It's
right?
700 million people right now, recently.
Yeah, yes, and faster than Facebook and all of them together.
Much better.
So much faster. This will have a huge impact also to societies like ours, but also to other developing countries, to places that are not do not have access to medical care the way we do.
Mhm. Do you plan a user interface also for your system without like skipping the doctor? At some point,
Mhm.
people could upload, get advice.
We have it already.
Have it. Okay. So you go
It's
to the
already in
consumer
place.
market. Mhm.
It's guard railed a lot,
Mhm.
so you can basically upload your stuff. It is being also OCR recognized and AI categorized, and everything is put into your electronic health record. And then we could actually enable it so you can have access to the main reasoning engine behind it,
Mhm.
and then have a simple language interface so you can really interact with it, because the main reasoning engine right now is talking in medical terms.
Mhm.
So if you're not a doctor, you won't, it's
Yes.
gibberish.
Mhm.
Um, but it is possible to do that, and we may do that as soon as we have adoption in places where this is
Mhm.
a thing and can be used.
Yes. And it's multi-language.
Sure, that's
AI
easy.
again, the magic of AI to recognize
Yes,
language.
exactly.
Okay, that's fantastic. Let's look a little bit. I had, by the way, many guests from the pharmaceutical world,
Mhm.
presidents of big pharmaceutical companies, and I always ask them what is their prediction in terms of AI helping us to heal cancer. And there are various responses. What would be your take on this question?
Um, well, I believe that AI used wisely in different fields, especially in the medical field, but let's say in the when we have pharmaceutical companies or people who are doing running studies or engineering molecules and trying to investigate illnesses, for example, cancer, it's it will be a game changer, and it is a game changer already. People are using it already, as even if it's just increasing the efficiency. Let's imagine, I'm not even looking at AI as something miracle that will save us all. I'm not looking at it this way, not at all.
Mhm.
What I believe is it's increasing efficiency dramatically. So, efficiency, what do I mean by that? Output per unit of time,
Mhm.
output of whatever. And when you have a research team using AI, not talking about ChatGPT, but maybe for large data sets to data mine them, that will increase the speed. So even if we're not talking about general AI, or we're talking just about regular, plain, simple algorithms that do pattern recognition and so on and so forth, this is already revolutionizing medical care and also in the field of cancer treatment, maybe also cancer prevention,
Mhm.
and also in uh, how cancer or and other illnesses therefore even develop to have a deeper understanding
Yeah.
of what is going on in the body actually.
Yes. Yeah, the answers of those guests was also more betting on prevention, like a stronger liver, and
Mm,
also cancer is so diverse. You're a doctor. Some of them they're
true,
quite successful even now. So just going up this curve and maybe curing, or some of them they could kind of reserve and yes, freeze the state and stop development. So yeah.
true,
Mhm.
true.
Okay, let's be a bit more now leadership oriented. What do you think if you could transfer your experience as a serial entrepreneur and having these two exciting hats, being a doctor and entrepreneur and AI engineer, what is the impact of AI on leadership, modern leadership?
Well, we use AI in every single step and every single department of our company. Whatever we do, we try to see if we can superpower it with AI.
Mhm.
Um, and this is also true for leadership. This is also true for empowering leaders to, first of all, again, we have the efficiency. We have the efficiency lever that we can always move, and we can, for example, enable leaders be faster for whatever they need, reportings and so on and so forth. There can be dashboards and everything can be super powered with AI. You can do everything with it. However, looking at it a little bit deeper, I give you an example. We have there is like a company. There are principles on which our company is built,
Mhm.
pretty much based on principles from Ray Dalio. I don't
Mhm.
know if you know him.
Say it again, the name?
Ray Dalio, I
Mhm.
believe,
Mhm.
Bridgewater is his company. It's a very, very huge. fund, and it is very, very successful. And he has like principles how
Mhm.
to operate a company. And there are other people who can where you can get information. When you have leaders, however, those you have two options. Either you train them a lot,
Mhm.
you give them these books, and then you have like um, or have like seminars and leadership trainings and so on and so forth. And then you test them on that, and then you try to build a culture and all of that. Or you can use AI for that.
Mhm.
You can use AI to assess the knowledge. You can use AI to see if they have really understood. You have to, of course, program it first. You have to put the information in first. What is your company? What do you do? What is your service? What is your vision? What is your mission? What are the principles? And then really like not only on the high level, but it has to be really integrated well. But if you do that, then you have basically a coworker that can be the mentor of all your leaders and make sure that everybody is really on track with the philosophy and culture of the company. And
Mhm.
culture is king.
Yes.
Culture is the most important thing, and this is where we use it as well. Because prior to that, it was a very tedious process. You have to really spend a lot of time with everybody in the C level to make sure, and your audience will know if you have one or two people in a team of, let's say, 30 people who are not aligned with your culture, this will infect the whole company in a very short time. Your standards will change, your output, your quality output will change, and all of that. And this is and firing someone and hiring somebody else is also not a easy thing to do. If you use AI properly, also with the monitoring, by the way,
Mhm.
you can even um, have like you can even like monitor if your customer support is answering the emails politely or not
Mhm.
without compromising any um, uh, GDPR rules, or you can do that. And
Mhm.
this is gives again information. You can do the same with your leaders. You can do everything with it. So my take on that would be use it as much as possible. Have somebody who really knows a lot about it and assesses again and again if you have a new use case where you can use it, especially in the training and in the quality assessment of the leadership. It is very useful.
Yes, fantastic. I'm a big fan of culture. Culture eats strategy for breakfast, as Peter Drucker
That's true.
said. That's my
Yeah.
mission to empower, people through kind of culture of empowerment, servant leadership, and so on with my virtual power teams, concepts, and books. Um, and for the audience, there is a Chinese startup, not a startup. They are quite successful. NetDragon in the gaming. So their
Mm-hmm.
CEO who is a AI, and market share is still rising. And last year, 2024, it is a female avatar, by the way. This AI, the CEO, was nominated as Virtual Employee of the Year in China, all China. And it did like 40,000 hours coaching employees. It's like on a video screen, there was, talking.
Yeah.
And embedding also, it did like,
Yes.
I don't know, 1 million approvals, for example, which is probably
Mm.
easy if it's rule based. But 40,000 hours of coaching on company cultures and value, this is what you say, was
Yes,
impressive. And this is really much stronger lever than just efficiency gains through approvals and so
that's
on.
true.
Maybe I would be
100% agree.
yeah, thank you. What are the principles? Let's not go to Bridgewater, which I know as a company, but what are the principles of your company as a leader that you now trying to reinforce with AI and that bring you to the success that you are enjoying now?
Mm. So on a very high level, I would say it is actually one to one. Um, what is in Bridgewater? It is first of all. and this is the most important pillar, basically, it's radical transparency. So we
Mm-hmm.
tell the truth and we say what is.
Mm-hmm.
And this is also through all the hierarchy, all the way.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing. And the other is idea meritocracy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So you can be in our team for 2 weeks and have a phenomenal idea or a way how to improve something that we do. You just have to say it and work it out like properly
Mm-hmm.
so other people can understand it. And this will be done if it's the best idea. So it is not about who's the oldest, who has the best degree, or it is all about the merit
Yeah.
that is in an idea. And this is how we operate, and this is also how we operate like the two companies right now and the previous one as well.
Mhm.
This is has been a game changer to us.
Absolutely agree. They both very powerful. They kind of two important pillars. Being open has to do also with psychological safety, which Google discovered in their project Aristotle as a key enablers of best performance. This is being
Mm-hmm.
safe to take risks and being safe to show vulnerability. I think this is linked a bit to idea meritocracy and speaking up, and then transparency, who is non-judgmental. So they correlate with other principles. Um, the Yeah, let's move on. I had a comment, but we'll do it later. Um, how do you? Ah, yes, I wanted to ask you, what's the process of this idea mediocracy, and do you use not mediocrity, but meritocracy, or how,
Yes,
how do you call it?
yes, meritocracy. That's right.
Meritocracy. Um, how do you capture these ideas, and do you use any AI at all to refine, to
Mhm.
enrich, to, I don't know, help with prioritizing? What was the process, high level?
All right. So the process is very easy to be able to do that. You would have to first of all have a transparent communication channel. For that, we use programs.
Mhm,
So we have some remote coworkers, we have some who are here, but everybody is always on
mhm,
when he or she is working, and camera is always on, and we have a chat basically. So
mhm,
everybody can communicate with everybody all the time. However, in our deep work times, we do not communicate a lot.
mhm,
If there is something urgent, then you can do it. Let's say you are working currently on a subject matter and you realize, well, how we're doing it right now is wrong. How the product manager said it is supposed to look is wrong.
mhm,
What do? You have a team leader and you report that to the team leader. And either you are convinced that you are right or wrong, then
mhm,
you basically talk about it. And if the team leader is saying yes, it's right how you say it, we're supposed to change it. The team leader will forward it basically to the next higher person,
mhm,
and it will be very fast in the proper place. It will
mhm,
take less than 2 to 3 days to
mhm,
be heard from the right person,
mhm.
and then the change is initiated. So very dynamic, very very fast, and we do not have like very high hierarchies, so it's very easy to do that. But
Decision is still made on the top by somebody
yes,
responsible. Okay. Mhm,
the decision is made by on the top, but only for quality control basically. So on top we just check, was this idea challenged
mhm,
properly, is it documented properly, do we agree? But again, if you have a real idea meritocracy, the one who's most knowledgeable in that specific field will decide. So if this is a backend developer
mhm,
telling, for example, me, I do not know a lot about backend development, that
mhm,
it's better to do something differently than, for example, a that what I propose with really short research. Then, of course, I will ask the next best: is that true? And if
mhm.
that's true, then the decision is made. So it's not actually made by me or in that sense, but from the CTO. It's made by our people.
Excellent. I love it. There was another book maybe 4 years ago, Radical Collaboration. I mean,
Hmm.
radical is a buzzword, but yes, we need radical change in some cases, empowering collaboration, transparency.
True.
Um, how do you use AI yourself as a leader, as a doctor?
Hmm.
What would be your top three use cases or whatever however you'd like to respond?
So how I use it, first of course, we have implemented it in all of our working pipelines.
Mm-hmm.
When we have, for example, code reviews, it is reviewed by AI and it is rated by AI. This is results in a leaderboard, and so in that sense, when in my working environment, it's always present in the one or the other way. When
Mm-hmm.
I'm using ClinicOS, it's always somewhere present, different things used for different problems. And me personally, I have used it a lot for research, perplexity, for example, and currently I'm using it a lot for writing, like not the content, but writing it out. For example, when we have an SOP, it takes me less than 5 minutes. I know exactly the points, but the rest, who like the writing is performed by currently all five. I also use the agentic mode of OpenAI. We use the Google models. We use different models, and I use them myself.
Mm-hmm.
But I mostly use actually the AI, the AIs that are implemented in our workflow already, in
Yes.
our time tracking, in ClickUp, where we have like our project management. In We use Slack. We use a ton of tools, and in those I use it mostly. Note takers we use a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and this increases the efficiency by far. And everybody, by the way, every one of our coworkers has access to the best and most powerful AI engines. And we even tell those our developers, we have only senior developers, to use it. And we increased our efficiency by, I believe, 30%. So this
Mm.
is huge, 30%
Huge.
measured.
Yeah. Day and a half per week or something. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. And we already work 60 hours.
Yeah.
So
It's,
this
I
makes
mean, multiply by 1.5.
yeah.
1.3. Mm-hmm. You mentioned
Yes.
leaderboard. In what sense, leaderboard, very briefly?
We have with our developer teams, we have leaderboards. The
Mm-hmm.
best programmers are being rewarded,
Mm-hmm.
and therefore we have a leaderboard. And this is the leaderboard is actually, we try to really we try um uh to I don't know how to say it. Let me think. So I believe that people can really perform way better than they do.
Yes.
It's true for me, it's true for our developers, it's true for everybody. And I
Mm-hmm.
believe that there are tools how you can really um, um, how you can enable people to become better.
Mm-hmm.
And one of these tools are leaderboards.
Yes.
If you have A players in your team, all of them want to know how good they are performing. Everybody wants to know.
And
So
mhm.
yeah, go ahead.
You set the KPI yourself as a leadership team, and then AI would score and update
Mhm.
board real time, right?
Yes, yes. And
Mhm.
it can be everything. It can be from tickets solved,
Yeah.
very easy, to code quality, little harder, to how much time did you spend helping other people.
Hmm.
That's really hard to assess, but it's possible.
Hmm.
To like you can even go so far and say, how long are you there? How well did you improve?
Yes.
You can even take that into account. We do not do that one, the last one.
Hmm.
However, everything else we do.
Hmm. And this
So
is
yeah,
is it because I've seen it in like AI-enabled training, leaderboards. Is this a proprietary technology you use? Is there a brand, or you could set it up on various AI
it
models?
We could set it up basically everywhere. It's not completely proprietary. We have some open source code, but we did a lot ourselves as well.
Okay.
So we always do is basically like that. We're looking for things that are already made. If they are already made, we make them better. If not, we make them.
Yes. How big is the company?
Right now, we are 18 people, so very small.
Mm-hmm.
We
You have
are,
like
yeah,
hierarchy, sorry to interrupt, like
don't worry.
captains and then flat, or how is the roughly the org chart?
Yeah, we have three people in the C level,
Mm-hmm.
being me, a CTO, and a medical officer, chief medical officer. Then
Mm-hmm.
we have two team leaders, and below that we have the teams, or we have actually three team leaders, and
Mm-hmm.
below that we have the teams because we try to make groups not larger than six, seven people.
Two pizza team from Amazon 6, the magic number. Yeah.
Yes, yes,
Call it
it
two pizza
works. It
team.
is. It
Yes.
is really like this is how you can make communication very fast and effective.
Excellent.
And that's the current state. We have a seed round coming up. Until
Mhm.
now, we're mostly bootstrapped. So we sold our old company and built this company ourselves for a long time and until we had revenue. And then we are now opening a seed round shortly. And after that, we will probably triple our team
Mhm.
in total because also we will roll out in the US and we want to also roll out in the United Arab Emirates, and the team will be a lot larger the same time next year.
Yes, yes. I wish you luck. I have two
Thank you.
final questions.
Sure.
First one is, what was your most exotic, exciting experience with AI? Something that comes to mind first.
Yes, very. I can tell you. Um, Let me tell you two stories. First story, it was 2000, how was it, like 8 years ago, maybe 9 years ago currently. So it's 2016, not sure, somewhere in that realm. I was doing my PhD and I got a student and I was early in the PhD.
Mhm.
And I got a student who wanted to use AI for my algorithms. What I was doing, that's basically most of I was analyzing optical signals, spectra from optical signals to assess different measurement, temperature, bending, and so on and so forth. And I was doing it empirically. I
Mhm.
developed my own algorithm and so on and so forth. This is what was my way to go.
PhD in
Um,
physics in which
what is it?
in which science? PhD in medical studies or physics?
It was microsystem technologies and medical engineering.
Okay, thank you.
And then the student came up to me. I believe it must have been 2015. So it's almost 10 years ago. He came up to me and he proposed to use AI to evaluate my signals. And
Mhm.
it was a bachelor student. And that time, by the way, there was no ChatGPT and everything, so nobody knew about what LLMs are capable of. I at the beginning assessed AI a little bit, so some models, traditional machine learning, to see if I can have a proper signal reading, but I decided pretty fast to go the traditional way. So the student came up and proposed using AI. And first of all, I was not opposed to it, but I talked to my professor if that's okay. And he just said, well, it's a black box. We are doing science here. We will not use black boxes.
Mhm.
Like it's not, I'm not quoting him here, but something in that, something like that. So even in that time, I tried always to look for solutions. So I asked him, well, how can we do it? And he was like, okay, it can be his bachelor's thesis, but he has to be at least like better. What he has to have better results than you have now.
Mhm.
And I told this student, I talked to him, and we came up with a solution. And he started working. And within, I believe, 2 months, he had better results than I had.
Mhm.
So this was an eye-opening moment for me. And he was using very rudimentary tools. We were using MATLAB, and I believe he used Gaussian process regressors, which are traditional machine learning and very powerful models. However, we did not have a lot of data.
Mhm.
That day really turned everything around for me.
Mhm.
It was clear to me because, first of all, of course, you work 1.5 years and then some student comes up and his results are far better than yours.
Mhm.
That's hard to digest. But at the same time, it was like an epiphany for me. It was eye opening.
Mhm.
And so I completely changed everything and started interrogating with AI-based algorithms only. I
Mhm.
spent the next 5, 6 years doing only that, and after that, it was even like what I came up with is patented currently in the
Mhm.
US, and it is also patented in Europe because it was so much better than everything that is out there. And I was the first one actually to apply really an ensemble also, not only one algorithm, but a stack of algorithms to an optical signal in that way. And my results were like phenomenal. And
Mhm.
that's one uh, story. This is where I really fell in love with AI actually. The second story is also connected to that one. A long time later, when ChatGPT, I believe, 4 was online, I talked to this student. I talked to the student and um, how he changed everything, the path that was where I was going, and then I came up with the idea. Well, um, my task that I had, my research question for my PhD, let me just ask ChatGPT how he would do it. And on that at that time, my papers were not public, so it was not publicly available how to do it.
Mhm.
And I gave it a lot of context to be fair. But the model came up with the exact solution with the steps how to do it like we did,
Mhm.
like 1 to 1. So first try this, then try this, then try this, then, and I challenged it a lot. And that was the second story where I realized really if you have two options, either you go with AI or you actually go sooner or later. If
Yes.
you The time to adopt it is now. It is really now. It's not in a couple of years or when there's no, it's now.
Mhm.
And yeah, this is a very this day really impacted my life a lot.
Yes, yes. It's just an extra comment and question. Uh, when Grok, whatever version was published, they published benchmark that is already better in any field that the PhD students on,
Mm.
on the tests. And now GPT-5 released recently, it
Yes.
also even step further on this benchmark. Is this for you? Do you change the way you use it? Is how do you plan to? Because it will get even smarter, but even this present version, which are much smarter than the previous one and smarter than the PhD you could hire.
Mm.
What was your response? Did you change anything in your process, way to use it, and so on?
What we do is like you have basically a couple of options, but two would be one is either you try to hire people who do not have PhDs and let them use it. So you
Mhm.
have a PhD actually. Or what we do, you hire a PhD and then give it the system. So you have two
Mhm.
or a superpowered PhD. This is how we go. And this
Mhm.
is how this is our approach
Mhm.
in that field. And this is how we still do it. So we
Yes.
always take care that we have the best models, the
Mhm.
most recent ones. We have access to all of them, I believe. We are also um, we have access to the best Google models. We have access to the best OpenAI models. We have access to also some other models that are open source kind of. So we try to always use whatever is the latest smartest algorithm out there and use it in the proper way. But also the people who use it, are supposed, like they're supposed to know how it works and learn from it, so they become better as well.
Fantastic. Did you get any feedback from your PhDs now with the recent versions that they see a step change?
I got one with Codex
Hmm.
that was a jump in the quality of code that is available. So it's also from OpenAI Codex.
Yes,
From OpenAI, like from GPT-5, not yet, because I believe it's 3 days, 4 days, not a lot of time that it is online. I believe last Friday we got it.
exactly. Today I had a interesting moment. I'm reshaping a bit my website and
Mm-hmm.
I'm putting a new page about myself. And I gave a few bullet points only. And then I spoke a bit, maybe 1 minute, what's my
Mm.
expectation. And the result blew me away, really. I enabled the GPT, in ChatGPT, the memory function. So he knows the previous conversations and so on by my wish. But also the way it used what it know about me
Mm.
and all the conversation. I
Yes.
wouldn't be able to do it myself, and it is about me. And
Yes.
even if I try for days, so it was really amazing experience.
Yes, that's really true. When you have that's when you realize what AI algorithms are capable of. Actually, the only way to go is just to use them wherever you can and see what they can do, and they will improve, and they improve daily actually. And so your website you created with ChatGPT.
No, not the website, just one page. And it
Mm-hmm.
was about the content and the text, but also I asked him to generate for me, a WordPress code so I can copy paste.
Awesome.
Which but I also use Replit, for example, and I generated another web page with a
Mm-hmm.
prompt, one paragraph, which was amazing. So other tools for agentic tools to kind of generate
Mm,
apps and web pages. It
true.
is a long conversation. I'm not sure if you want to share your favorite tool for more agentic power.
Um, for for agentic power, actually, we use I I I do not use agents right now. We use it for business logic, but
Hmm.
it's not. We use N8N or
Hmm.
Make
Yes.
in that sense, and we couple all models that we just talked about with it, depending on the use case.
Hmm. Hmm.
From accounting, everything is automatized to um, customer support. Even we have an AI who sees how our app changes and improves, and generates data which is given to another AI, which is then a chatbot
Hmm.
that it has a context that is always up to date and can see actually on which page you are, and then give you the information you need and not some random information. We built those systems ourselves. What I use is besides of that is actually OpenAI. So OpenAI's latest model in agentic mode, or Perplexity for that sense,
Yes.
also very powerful depending on what I'm doing. When I'm doing research, it's more Perplexity actually, but in the with the recent changes you can also use OpenAI, very good.
Yes.
The sources are not hallucinations as
Mhm.
before.
Yes. Fantastic. Last question, promise. Take your crystal ball out. Take a deep breath if you wish. What is the ultimate frontier of AI?
Even if you may say that I am biased, I truly believe it's healthcare,
Hmm.
because you there's nothing, like you wish for a lot of things when you're healthy, but
Hmm.
when you have any illness, it can even be a cold, you wish for nothing but being healthy again.
Hmm.
So I believe enabling healthcare, really enabling healthcare worldwide for everybody, for developing countries, for all of humanity, that will change everything. That will change how people treat each other. That will change how we work. That will change everything. When you just imagine that you know the places where elderly people are cared for. Just imagine none of them would exist, because all of those people are still participating in communities and helping other people and helping themselves and living their lives, because they never got that stroke.
Yes.
And this is what I believe, which
Yes.
is very, 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 very powerful. Of course, we have economy where it can do a lot. We have new new science. We have sciences. We have quantum physics where you can actually use it. But I believe what will really affect our lives the most is in healthcare, and I have no doubt about it.
Yes.
But it's hard. It's very hard to really implement it in a way that it would do what I just said.
Yes. It is a great vision, and I wish this vision to come true. And I wish you also to be a key catalyst and enabler in this vision as you are on the way.
Thank
Sohrab,
you.
it was an honor. Thank you for your great and practical insights.
Same for me. Thank you, Peter. Thank you very much.